woman would make her way down the mountain to the town below. There she would wander the cobblestone streets until she came upon someone sleeping outside. She would take a newly finished quilt from her bag, wrap it around their shivering shoulders, tuck them in tight, and tiptoe away. Then the very next morning, with a steaming cup of blackberry tea, she would begin a new quilt. And you can change to the next. Yeah, there we go. Now, at this time, there was also a very powerful and greedy king, isn't there always, who liked nothing better than to receive presents. He even passed a law that they would have his birthday twice a year. When that still wasn't enough, he ordered his soldiers to search the kingdom for those few people who had not yet given him a gift. You can imagine how crowded his castle became. He must keep track, huh? I bet he's got record keepers for that. And yet, with all these marvelous treasures, the king never smiled. Somewhere there must be one beautiful thing that will finally make me happy. I will find it. Next slide, please. One day, a soldier rushed into the palace with news about this magical quilt maker who lived in the mountains. The king stamped his foot. How is it that this person has never given me one of her quilts as a gift? And he went with his soldiers in search of her. When they arrived at her house, the quilt maker just laughed. My quilts are for the poor and needy. I can easily see you are neither. I want one of those quilts, the king demanded. It might be the one thing that will finally make me happy. Next slide. The woman thought for a moment. Here's what we'll do. Make presents of everything you own. With each gift you give away, I will sew one piece into your quilt. When at last all your things are gone, your quilt will be finished. Give away all my wonderful treasures, the king shouted. I don't give things away, I take them. And he ordered his soldiers to seize the nearest quilt. But she tossed it out the window, and a great gust of wind carried it away. Now the king was very angry, and you may change the slide. He tried many ways of convincing her to change her mind. First, he chained her to a rock in the cave of a sleeping bear, knowing the bear would wake up and eat her in the morning. And here's where I'm really condensing. You're going to miss all the details. But although the king was very good at being greedy, he was very bad at being mean. All night he couldn't sleep, worrying about the poor woman. So he woke up his soldiers, and they all marched in their pajamas up to the cave to save her. Next slide, please. But when they arrived, the king found the quilt maker had been so kind to the bear that he released her. And there they were, enjoying a breakfast of berries and honey. That made him angry all over again. And he ordered the woman, next slide, to be left on an island so small she would have to stand on her tiptoes until she fell in and drowned. But again, details omitted, her kindness caused thousands of sparrows to swoop in and rescue her. When the king once again was sorry and sent soldiers to save her, there she was in a tree, sewing tiny warm coats for the chilled sparrows from her own purple vest. I give up, the king shouted. What must I do for you to give me a quilt? She did already say it, and that's exactly what she says. As I said, give away all you own, and I will sew you a quilt. I can't do that, said the king. I love all my beautiful, wonderful things. But if they don't make you happy, what good are they? That's true, said the king. And he thought about it so long that weeks went by. Oh, all right, he muttered. If I must give away my treasures, I must. You can imagine how hard it was to begin. He searched the castle from top to bottom and finally came out with one single marble. But the boy who received it smiled so brightly in return. The king went back for more things. First a handful, then an armload, and then cartloads of treasures. Change the slide, please. With each gift he gave away, the joy he saw made him start to smile, just a little. And the quilt maker began to sew. For years and years, the king traveled the world, finding those who needed his gifts. When the quilt was at last finished, the quilt maker started down the mountain in search of the king. She finally found him with his clothes in tatters and his toes sticking out of his boots. But his eyes glittered with joy, and his laugh was thunderous. Standing on tiptoe, she tenderly wrapped her quilt around him. "What's this?" She had completely forgotten about their agreement. She had to remind him. "But I am not poor," said the king. "My heart is full to bursting, filled with memories of all the happiness I've given and received. I'm the richest person I know." Well, the king did accept the quilt in the end, but only in exchange for his throne, his final possession, which made a great sewing chair. And from then on, whenever a quilt was complete, the king himself took it down to the town, searching out the poor and downhearted, never happier than when he was giving something away. Well, as a volunteer, that's often the case. Maybe you're trying to get a college scholarship and you need a lot of volunteer hours. You may not necessarily want to, but you got to have those hours so you can get the scholarship, so you can go to college, and so you do it. It happens to grown-ups too. Maybe you need it on your resume to get that promotion. You need to show that you're a good upstanding citizen and you help your community. Or maybe you just really like the awards you get for being so helpful. And there's nothing wrong with that. You're still out in the world doing good things. But I hope that sometime in your life, you'll get to be like the king at the end, where he had kind of forgotten about all those outside of himself reasons for doing good. And he was only doing it because that's what he wanted to do. It made him feel good. And all came from inside of him. And there's our goal. No matter where you start, I hope that's where you'll end up. So, thank you for listening. Joy of Joys and Concerns is a tradition in our fellowship. You're welcome to come up, put a glass pebble into the bowl of water, either silently or while speaking a few words into the microphone. This practice shares our joys and helps us support each other in sorrows. Remember to tell about others only with their permission. This is a sacred time for us.